Nerdy Knights of the Well-Rounded Table. Welcome to Bohemian Geek Studies, where we take extremely dorky dives into our favorite fandoms. I'm Colleen McMillan, Jedi Master and Rebel Scum collaborator. Our Queen of Queries, Sara O'Connor, is out this week, so Anders and I are taking the top half of this podcast. Welcome.
Hello to all. I am Pirate Jedi Anders Drew. And between me and Colleen, we vary a little bit in terms of our rank, but one thing will always remain constant. Much to learn, we still have.
It's true. I mean, we're basically Obi-Wan and Hondo at this point. Oh, my best friend. At least I think we were friends.
Yeah, I think we were friends at least.
Obi-Wan facepalm. Oh my God. So, and Anders and I are both vaccinated and feeling great, y'all. Which is why I'm drinking. Welcome to the podcast. All right, this season on Bohemian Geek Studies, we're taking a detailed dorky dive into Star Wars Rebels. And today we're diving into Season 2, Episodes 7, 8, and 9, Wings of the Master, Blood Sisters, and Stealth Strike.
That's right. We have done our best to scramble our signals so that we will be avoiding spoilers for future episodes of Rebels. No guarantees on any other Star Wars content, though. No. And I will throw in an adult content warning for the younglings. As always, flow's coming in later, guys, so you never know what's going to happen. But
so true, so true.
Without further ado, let's hop in the Ghost and head to the Temple on Lothal to open that first holocron of knowledge. Colleen, let's punch it.
Let's take it away. All right, everybody, we're heading into our first holocron, the Journal of the Wills, which we go over the plot and the episode synopses for this week. Since there's only two of us at the moment, we'll be joined by Floyd later, I tried to keep these as brief as possible. So for today's first episode, the rebellion is in need of a new ship with better firepower and fast. You know, it's got to be fast. It's got to get past this blockade. While trying to get past the Imperial blockade to deliver much needed supplies, our rebels are soundly defeated. But Rex, he's got a suggestion, y'all. He's playing Ahsoka this episode. He knows a mysterious engineer named Quarrie who might just have the ship that they need. But Quarrie is located in an almost unreachable base on the planet Shantipole. Kanan suggests that Hera take on the mission, which she isn't pleased about. Like, why did you put my name into this conversation, Kanan? But she does agree to go.
Pilot we have.
She is the best pilot they have.
So Hera ultimately agrees. She takes Zeb and Sabine to find Quarrie and the ship, leaving Kanan, Ezra, and Chopper to try and help the starving citizens of Ibar. Finding out that the rumors about Shantipole were not exaggerated, Hera flies/falls through this extremely violent atmosphere, seeing many downed ships. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a Bermuda Triangle type situation going on here.
Mm-hmm.
They crash land on Quarrie's base, kind of like on a cliff edge, that total like bus on the edge of a cliff thing going on.
Very Rescuers Down Under, if you've ever seen that.
Yes.
When Wilbur, the Albatross, tries to land on the kangaroo rats platform thing. Hi, Duncan.
I'm always down for an old school Disney reference.
Of course, obviously.
All right. So they crash land and they discover a very cantankerous Mon Calamari in Quarrie, who doesn't really care that his home destroys ships as they come try to find him. In fact, it's why he's there. It makes it very easy to hide from the Empire. And if something can fly in this atmosphere, it can fly anywhere.
Definitely.
He does eventually agree to show them his B-Wing prototype, which he calls a Blade Wing, also known as a blockade buster. Mm-hmm. And Hera goes to try and give it a test flight.
Not so fast, Hera. Quarrie doesn't want just anyone flying his baby. Hera tells him the story of how she always dreamed of flying when she was hiding with her mother during the Clone Wars on Ryloth. She chose to leave her family and her planet to serve the rebellion in search of freedom for everyone, not just herself and her planet. She just needs to be in the sky. So, Quarrie, ding ding, success. Quarrie will let her fly the Blade Wing, which promptly plummets when she tries to take off.
Prototypes are always going to have some problems, guys. It just happens.
Quarrie's like, I don't fly. I mean, it's better to be here and not falling. As poor Sabine and Zeb are like, what? It's fine, though. It's fine. Hera isn't the best pilot in the galaxy for nothing. She expertly corrects the craft and utilizes its maneuverability and that multi-cannon, which is insanely powerful.
Yes.
But then Kanan calls, telling them that time is up for the people of Ibar.
And it seems like all is lost for the rebels. Hera returns with Quarrie and the Blade Wing and unleashes that multi-cannon on one of the Imperial cruisers, completely destroying it. This little B-wing fighter takes out a Star Destroyer, effectively.
Ooh, it's got some punch.
The rebels are able to breach the blockade, deliver the supplies, and escape. Commander Sato congratulates Hera on a successful mission and promotes her to Phoenix Leader. All salute Captain Hera.
Heck yes. Like, she was the captain of the Ghost, obviously, but now she's a military ranked captain.
Yes.
Get it, girl. In our next episode, we get to meet an old acquaintance of Sabine's. That's right, we finally get a Sabine-centric episode. Hera sends Sabine, Ezra, and Chop to pick up a secret courier for the rebellion. Ezra tries to get Sabine to open up on her loner tendencies, but she ignores him because it's Ezra and she just does. Instead, she's focused on the spray-painted marking in the shuttle bay, which looks really cool. It's like, oh, Sabine, another artist that you used to know, maybe?
Maybe.
It puts her on edge, seeing this marking. They discover that the courier is a gonk droid, which is adorable, and attempt to take him to their ship. But the person who made the cool graffiti marking, of course she shows up, none other than Sabine's old partner, bounty hunter Ketsu Onyo.
So Ketsu and Sabine escaped the Imperial Academy together and became bounty hunters, because that's just apparently what like everyone does in the galaxy.
I mean, if you're a Mandalorian on the run, you might as well be a bounty hunter.
Yeah, it just kind of fits. However, at some point, Ketsu left Sabine for dead on a mission and hasn't seen her since. Ketsu admits that she now works for the Black Sun Crime Syndicate, like they always dreamed, and she is after the droid courier. She warns Sabine that there's a bounty on her, and as Ezra tries to defuse the situation, stormtroopers show up. Sabine escapes with the two droids, leaving Ezra straight up behind to deal with the Empire.
He's fine.
Because he fell overboard. And Ketsu pursues them in her ship, the Shadowcaster.
I love that ship too. And the name of the ship. I love, like, yes. Ketsu's great. She has a great aesthetic, y'all. As they engage in a space battle of wits and firepower, Ketsu and Sabine argue about right and wrong. Ketsu tells Sabine that rebelling against the Empire is futile and that she shouldn't trust people. Which, fair, because you left her for dead, Ketsu. So that is very fair. But Sabine has found people who are willing to fight for her, a new family. She offers Ketsu the chance to join her. Like, she's throwing some Ezra moves out there. Come join us, everybody. Enter more nosy Imperials. They order the two ships to stand down, and Sabine and Ketsu come up with a plan to escape the Imperials because, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We're just gonna fight back against the Empire. They plan to destroy the shuttle, which, wah-wah, poor droid pilot, and escape on the Shadowcaster.
Upon arriving at the rendezvous with that gonk courier, they meet up with R2-D2.
R2!
It's just... And then it's back to Gorel.
Mm-hmm.
Sabine tells Ketsu that the rebellion would welcome her anytime, but Ketsu isn't quite ready to do that, to go up against the Empire and leave the Black Sun. But she does shake Sabine's hand before she leaves, so leaving it open, and some mutual respect for that shared history.
Ezra there, just peak Ezra. Can I have a moment? He's like, yeah, sure. Literally doesn't move.
Oh, you too.
Hi, Ketsu, I'm Ezra. You shot at me before. He's such a gem. I love him. All right, and then for our last episode today, Kanan makes fun of Rex's tight stormtrooper armor.
It was a great moment.
Everybody's making fun of poor Rex. He's like, the commissary. That's not where I would send him. Poor Rex, guys. He's still in really good shape, but he's an old guy. Like, it takes a lot for him to keep that shape going. While traveling to discover what happened to a missing patrol, Commander Sato and Ezra are pulled from hyperspace by a new Imperial ship and are captured. Luckily, Sabine learned about this new tech from her time in the Academy that could create a gravity well. which would pull ships out of hyperspace without using any tractor beam technology. Kanan is ready to go to the rescue, and Hera tells him to take Rex. Only Rex. You can do this alone.
God, where's my buddy cop movie with these two? Seriously.
Oh, we need it. We need it now.
So Imperial Admiral Brontitus is not fooled by Sato's cover story that he gave and calls Agent Kallus, telling him of their capture. Back on Gorel, Kanan and Rex disguise themselves as stormtroopers, not quite fitting into that armor just as well as they might have used to, but you know, it works. And they use a captured shuttle to infiltrate the new ship. Mm-hmm. Though they are told to leave at first, Rex gets them through with some correct Imperial codes and protocols. They go after it. Yeah, he hates that it worked. They go after Ezra first, since he's being transferred to a secure cell. However,
they didn't really need to. Ezra easily escapes his stormtrooper escort and accidentally stuns Kanan and Rex, who are still disguised as stormtroopers. Totally being like, oh my gosh, you guys, I found you. You're all passed out. Chopper replays the attack. Like, way to use your camera technology in the opposite way that R2 would do.
Oh, yeah.
And totally just outs Ezra.
Also love their reactions. Like, yes. Kanan's like, you shot us? And Rex just starts laughing.
Rex is like, I would have shot us too. That's fine. So they know exactly what happened. Poor Ezra. Ezra and Chop go to the reactor to try and disable and destroy the ship. Kanan and Rex find the other captured rebels, telling Sato that Ezra's already safe. Like, he's fine. He got away. Rex tells Kanan to take the other rebels while he holds off the stormtroopers. Rex is eventually captured and taken to Titus, who tortures him, of course, after Rex won't give up the rebels. He's like, aren't you a good clone? Can't you be part of the... No, F you, Titus. No.
Ugh. But then it is Kanan to the rescue. Unable and unwilling to leave the clone behind. Indeed, using his own words, he can't leave his friend behind. Kanan attacks and Titus flees. Kanan and Rex take off in an escape pod and rendezvous with Sato and Ezra, but they are caught in the gravity well. The Imperials are too, though, and they are way too late to notice that Chop had messed with the system, and the gravity well starts pulling in everything it can, including their own cruisers. The two cruisers crash into the prototype ship, demolishing it and themselves in the process. Kallus asks Titus, who he finds adrift in an escape pod, if Ezra Bridger was too much for him to handle, as he had warned him.
Yep.
We end with Kanan and Rex finally seeing eye to eye. Kanan salutes Rex, who salutes back, clearly happy.
Oh, it's such a good episode, you guys.
Oh, they're so good together.
I love Rex. Anything to do with Rex, I'm just totally on board. I love it.
All right, well, with that, let's move into the second holocron, The Will of the Force. This is where we will be discussing the themes of today's episodes. And I want to start us off with the theme in episode 7. And it's really, I think, encompassed by this line from Hera. If we want freedom, we must make difficult choices. Hera is always making the tough choices. She decided to leave home because she wanted to fly and she wanted to help the rest of the galaxy earn its freedom. And here she also has to make this hard choice. She's not ready to leave the fleet to go get this B-Wing. Like, she's like, no, I can do much better here. And it's Kanan that has to tell her the hard truth. No, you're the only hope we have of actually getting this new ship. And you're probably going to be the only one who can fly it.
Right.
In the end. So
Kanan's thinking ahead here.
Yeah, it's actually a nice little bit of character growth from Kanan, being the one to tell Hera the hard truth.
And Hera listens. I mean, they have the relationship where they can talk like this and they come to the right conclusion.
Later, Kanan also has to make the really hard choice. He knows that they're probably not going to make it through this blockade without whatever this mysterious ship is, but Hera's not back in time at that point, and he has to decide that they are going to make the blockade run. And it's just because it's the right thing to do, because the people need these supplies.
So good. All right, so next for episode 8, we have Second Chances. Sabine is obviously trying to leave some part of her life behind, and she's trying to get Ketsu to see that there's more to the galaxy than what they used to do together. which is true. I mean, even though Sabine's only 17, she's obviously had to have a couple second chances, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And Ketsu denies this at first. She's like, nah, I'm fine. I'll just stay with Black Sun. This is fine. I like this theme for Sabine just because we needed more character development from her, honestly. Rewatching the series, I've been like, okay, yes, knowing what happens later and that there's so much for Sabine to do, seeing the first season, being like, Sabine doesn't actually do a whole lot in the first season.
She's got a couple of quips about blowing stuff up.
And then here we finally get some juicy nuggets about, oh, you were like a tween when you escaped the Imperial Academy and became a bounty hunter. I love it.
I also just love, I mean, it's pretty condensed here because you do have Ezra calling out her kind of loner tendencies, not really communicating.
You train alone. You usually tell me that you want to be alone.
Yeah. But then to see her reach out that hand to Ketsu to try and bring someone else into the fold is a really great moment.
Yes.
Then a couple of things here for episode 9. We have the idea of teaming up with someone you don't like. Now, as someone who has worked with a lot of high schoolers as a teacher and as just a volunteer, I can tell you, anytime you do any kind of group learning projects, you always get those groups who are like, I don't want to work with them. I don't want to work with them. And I always look back at them and say, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Guess
Welcome
what?
To reality.
You have to get this done. You don't get a choice who you work with. Make it work.
Yep. Yeah, you never do. Sorry, kids. You don't get to go to your job and say you don't want to work with this person. That's not how things work.
Nope. Hopefully your hiring managers take personality into account, but that's not a guarantee.
No. No, definitely not.
And then we also get this theme about underestimating the young. This is Sato. They are captured. Ezra's like, hey, dude, it's fine. This happens all the time. We're going to get out of this. And Sato's just like, that's not very reassuring that this happens to you all the time. But then, of course, Ezra easily escapes.
Yes.
Admiral Titus also doesn't listen to Kallus. He's like, this is a teenage boy. We're going to be fine with a couple stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And then later, obviously, Kanan and Rex, as they rescue Sato, he's like, we have to go save Ezra. And they're like, oh no, he's good. He's already freed himself.
He's out. We left him with Chop. Oh man, Chop, the best and worst babysitter of all time.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh, I love it. Okay, so moving into our series theme for this week, we have giving up a normal life to help others. Which is basically what our Spectres do every day. And everyone in the rebellion really made a difficult choice when they joined. They knew they wouldn't be able to be with their families. They wouldn't be able to be with their friends. They were going to have to be in hiding or hiding in the open, like the senators. Bail Organa and Mon Mothma are trying to live a double life, basically, and be Imperials, but also the builders of the rebellion. It's insane. It's incredibly brave, but it's very scary. And it just makes us think about people in our world who do this kind of thing. What kind of person does it take to be like, oh, I'm fine leaving my country or my city or my family and fighting for something that would make life better for everyone? It's just crazy.
Yeah. All right, and with that, let's move into the third holocron, the Galaxy's Populace. This is where we will be discussing the characters and relationships highlighted in these episodes. And we alluded to it earlier. These 3 episodes really kind of function as character studies for some of our main Ghost crew. So, Colleen, you want to start it?
Of course. So we have Hera, our queen. Can we talk about Hera in battle? Calling out the tie locations to the 2 Jedi on board. Hera her battle awareness is so great. She is such a good combat pilot in a freighter. Yes, the Ghost is very maneuverable, but it's a freighter. It's not a fighter craft. So she's doing a really good job just being in battle, knowing what's going on. It's also an interesting switch. We talked about this a little bit before with Kanan telling Hera the hard truth about who needs to go get the B-Wing. And Hera agrees. She's like, yeah, I know. I didn't want to hear it, but fine. I'll go do this. We learn that she remembers from the Clone Wars and what drove her not only to be a pilot, but also to use her skills to help people in the galaxy, which is really sweet. Like, I can only imagine poor baby Hera on Ryloth because y'all, they got fucking wrecked.
They
during
really
the Clone
did.
Wars. And just the poor little bean Hera just huddling with her mom trying to hide, and I can see why she would look up at the ships and want to leave. But then also the ships she was looking up at and wanting to like be a part of are now the Imperial ships. So it had to be just a wild turn of events for poor Hera being like, I want to fly one of those cruisers one day too. Oh, we got to destroy them.
We got to blow those up now. Okay.
Yeah, got to blow those up.
Good thing I spent my childhood studying them. And then we get a lot more character development from Sabine. Also, I want to call it, I don't think we've called it out yet at this point yet in the season. Can we talk about the blue hair?
It's my
her
favorite.
Hair color changed from season 1 to season 2. It looks awesome. It's a really cool shade of blue, and it just helps her stand out even more. I love that she's just completely willing to be herself and express herself however the hell she wants.
Yep.
And in addition to some of the stuff we talked about earlier, Hera also gives Sabine the chance to be the team leader on this mission. Yeah. She very distinctly like shoves Ezra aside. Is like, no, Sabine is in charge.
Yeah. You can go with.
Yeah. Which, of course, she does, leave Ezra behind. But she's got faith in him. She's like, nah, my bro's got this.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Chop's like, really? Just going to leave Ezra down there? All right, I guess that's fine.
Yeah. And then we meet Quarrie in this episode. Now, this is his first and I believe only canon appearance in Star Wars. But if you are interested in Rebels, definitely. But he does also show up in the Lego continuity, one of my favorites, the Freemaker Adventures. In season 2, he is the master shipbuilder for the Rebel Alliance and helps Rowan Freemaker design the Kyber-powered Arrowhead fighter, which is one of the coolest looking ships.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But through all of his appearances, one of his signature traits is that even though he is a ship architect and designer and builder, he doesn't actually know how to fly them beyond in theory. He builds them, he doesn't fly them.
Yeah.
He's just this fun little cantankerous old man calamari. And he's just, Quarrie's the best.
Oh my God. He has to have like a freaking like water tank in his room because otherwise he would die. Mon Calamari have to have water or they basically die.
I also just love him. I love all of his like quips about it's a prototype. Like, yeah, I haven't worked that part out yet.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. Hera seems like she's got a handle on things.
Like,
I've only known her for less than a day.
Can you imagine like test driving a car and like the brakes don't work yet and the designers in the back's like, oh yeah, I haven't actually hooked those up yet. I mean, it's the first draft.
Brakes? What do you need brakes for? Oh, poor Hera. We love you, Quarrie, but also tough look for you. Next, we have Ketsu Onyo. She's voiced by sci-fi queen Gina Torres from Firefly and Alias, and Suits, but that's not sci-fi, so we're going to stick with Firefly and Alias. Ketsu is what Sabine would be like if she hadn't been taken in by the Ghost crew. Her character design was originally from The Force Awakens, and it's really cool. She kind of looks like Ming-Na Wen's character, Fennec Shand, a little bit.
A little bit.
Like that kind of bounty hunter mask deal, bodysuit, looking great, gives zero shits. I'm here for it. Love it.
Evoking a little Mandalorian kind of a vibe, but not quite. She's not a Mandalorian, right?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'd have to relook, but yeah. But she did take a shine to Sabine. I mean, there's a reason they were friends at the academy and then teamed up afterward, even though it probably was not the best idea. She's like this big sister friend that you have that's a little bit dangerous, but you love hanging out with them because they're fun. But they are the person who will leave you at the party when you're drunk because they just want to leave. And you're like, no, I want to stay. Let's stay. And they're like, no. And they just leave you and you don't realize it because you're wasted. Here's hoping that she changes things up later.
And then lastly, we get some kind of the culmination of this Kanan and Rex character arc that's been going on for the last several episodes.
Yeah.
They finally learned how to work together and respect one another in this episode.
Yes.
Story groups Pablo Hidalgo said that it was very important for Kanan and Rex to understand and appreciate each other's strengths in order to move forward with their working relationship. And they absolutely do that here. And they begrudgingly kind of consider each other friends. Maybe Kanan's more grudging than Rex is.
Yes. I mean, it's going to take a while for them to have the kind of rapport that Rex had with Anakin by the end of the Clone Wars. Like, their maneuvers together were in sync and incredible. They know how to fight with each other. I think Kanan and Rex will get there, though.
I think, yeah, they'll definitely get there. I just love that. I love that kind of moment. It was right at the end where Rex is like giving him the smile and Kanan's like, don't ruin this.
Yeah, don't ruin this. Like, oh, friends, best friends. Kanan has such good singers. These episodes. So good.
Oh, yeah.
Kanan is just like, he's like, I'm here. I'm with the rebellion, but I'm also done with every one of you. Even Ezra, he's like, kid, you need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Now we're going to move into our fourth holocron, which is Binding the Galaxy Together, in which we go over our homages and Easter eggs from the episodes. First off, we have the B-Wing, aka the Blade Wing. First appeared on screen in Return of the Jedi. This thing isn't super useful in a dogfight, even though the shape is unique and it kind of lets it move around really well. It's designed to be a blockade buster. Like, you send this thing in when you need to make a hole to get through. Its cockpit is gyroscopic, which means that the pilot basically stays in one place while the ship moves around them, which would be quite an experience, I think, if you were the pilot. The ship is slower than the average fighter, but it has more powerful than the average Corvette. So it is packing a wallop with that multi-cannon. Its signature blaster also looks suspiciously like a oh my god, you're so right. It looks like a Death Star blast. Woof. This is fine. Everything's fine. Quarrie, what are you doing? Did you learn something from Galen Erso? Like, what is happening here? But it's very effective. Like, it does work. And then next we have the code phrase for the Gonk droid. It's a long way to Alderaan. Sheds so many tears. Who set up this passcode? It was Bail Organa, obviously, because
anytime someone mentions Alderaan, I'm just like, oh dear.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, pour one out for all of the homies who were on Alderaan. Ugh, yikes.
Next up, that courier is what is affectionately known as a Gonk droid. His number is EG86, and he is a GNK power droid, aka Gonk droid. These guys have showed up as far back as A New Hope. I believe we see one getting tortured in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi.
His feet are branded.
A really interesting thing where apparently droids have pain receptors. These guys are basically walking batteries. That's all they're really meant to be. I actually kind of want one now. I actually really want one now because in this whole era of like working remotely, the weather's starting to get nice. I want to get like a Gonk droid and just take it down to the beach and just like plug my computer into it and be like, yeah, this is where I'm working.
And then it could go get you drinks. If
Absolutely.
It needed to, like, it could walk over to the little bar that's set up and be like, Gonk, Gonk, Gonk. I need a drink for my friend.
Yep, there is a bar at that beach. And so also here, in the grand tradition of Mandalorians that we have met, Sabine, of course, used to be a bounty hunter. Just like Jango, just like Boba, just like Din Djarin. If you're a Mandalorian in Star Wars and you're a main character, you've probably been a bounty hunter at some point.
Probably. Even though, like, supposedly they don't look kindly upon bounty hunters, I guess we're just going to let that slide.
Yeah.
With everybody. Speaking about bounty hunters, we have the Black Sun Syndicate. So along with the Pikes and the Hutts, this criminal group is part of the big three mafia-style groups in the galaxy, especially before and during the Clone Wars era. They kind of slowed down a little bit during the Empire era, but not a ton.
Where does Crimson Dawn fit into that?
They're an up-and-comer. They are the new bad boys on the scene, the upstarts, which fit Small very well.
Yes.
I mean, he obviously makes them all a part of his Shadow Collective before Crimson Dawn, where he basically is like, yo, Pikes, yo Huts, yo Black Sun, you all work for me now. And they do for a while. When he becomes Crimson Dawn, I think it's a little bit more like they break away more again. But for this time period, like if Black Sun is still operating, I don't think Crimson Dawn is quite like
Right there
they're
yet?
still
Okay.
they're there, like they're ascendant, but Maul's still working out some kinks in his operation. Or considering things that will be happening later on, it might just be defunct at this point. So Black Sun is run by Faline gangsters. They're like big hulking looking dudes, including Zitan Moj, who is their leader at this point. Their headquarters were or slash are on Mustafar. I don't know at this point if they are anymore.
Yeah, I would think that that's Vader's territory at this point.
Yeah, I think they would have had to have moved their headquarters. They're still there during Dark Disciple. So during the Clone Wars, they were still on Mustafar. So I'm guessing Vader went and was like, yo, peace out, get the fuck off my planet.
That's
And then
interesting that Sidious was willing to let them be there.
I know, right?
Because he was running a lot of stuff out of Mustafar.
I'm guessing he just was in his own little lava place and they were like, all right, that seems fine. Or he gave them money, which also is probably fine. They're like, we like money. You can have our little rent share. Split it. Oh man, Mustafar. All the gangsters and the bad guys are there. It's a lava planet, you guys. That's probably why. Lava equals evil. Next, we have our Interdictor class Star Destroyer. These are so cool. so cool with the gravity well projector. This, you would think the Empire would have wanted to build a crap ton of these because of what they can do. But Sidious wanted a Death Star. So all of the funding went to the Death Star and did not go into the Interdictor cruisers. In our world, an interdictor craft, this is actually a real concept, is an attack craft that can operate far behind enemy lines for the exact purpose of disrupting enemy combatants and disrupting logistics. So this is basically what the interdictor does in Star Wars too. Grand Admiral Thrawn, love these interdictors from Legends, uses these ships to great effect in the Heir to the Empire trilogy. He actually uses them to pull his own ships out of hyperspace so they can make really quick maneuvers.
Interesting.
Yeah, Thrawn. I love Thrawn, guys.
Yeah. And I like that I like that this is where they start to get into some of the more complicated aspects of hyperspace travel, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In the original trilogy, we really only get the one line from Han about how you need precise calculations so you don't fly through a star.
Yes.
And then
you need pathways in order to get through the galaxy.
To do it. And I mean, knowing that kind of background information makes several other things make sense. Like, you know, why in Empire Strikes Back they decided to take off from the planet and fly straight at the Star Destroyers instead of going around the other side of the planet. Because that's where the hyperspace lane was.
Yep. And that's where you have to get to. I mean, you can do a couple little jumps, but if you really just want to get away, you need to get in the right lane.
You need to get in the right lane. Mm-hmm. And they're really bringing back a lot of these concepts for High Republic.
Yes.
Kind of the main plot point of the first few stories in High Republic.
Hi, Duncan.
Hi,
Both cat sighting, everybody. Hi, baby. I know. Come here. Go eat your food, please.
So next up we have Sato says that they are members of the Corporate Alliance when they get captured. And this is one of the factions that joined the Separatists during the Clone Wars, along with all the other big business factions in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Shocking. We want to be able to do what we want and not have government oversight.
Yes. So nice little callback to those guys. And then, of course, Ezra gives the name Jabba the Hutt. But it is officially not working, not just because it's ridiculous, but because the Empire now has that down as like one of the names that he gives. And this is the first time I like imagined this. I started thinking about like crime shows and like spy thrillers, and there's always like the criminal with their list of known aliases. And I just love the idea that in an Imperial computer, it has a picture of Ezra. It's like known aliases, Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt.
Or like going through like a box with all of his passports. One of them says Jabba the Hutt.
Shuffle through them. Oh my god, I love that idea so much. Oh man. We do get this nice little Easter egg meta moment shout out with Kanan's, how does the Empire keep letting us steal these things about the shuttle? And Rex is like, oh, I thought it was the same one we used before.
Because they do it completely all the time. They always manage to get their hands on these shuttles.
Yes, they do. It's like the Empire just can burn through money, I guess, because they don't care. They're just building a Death Star.
Yeah.
Like shuttles, yeah, it's fine. If they get captured, it's all right. Also, that mural that's being painted of Rex and Kanan on the inside is fantastic. I like that they have the complementary blue of Kanan's lightsaber and Rex's blaster. Like, oh, it's because they're gonna be friends, you guys. I love Sabine's style here. It's very caricature. Because Rex is like short and a little squat, and Kanan is very angular, which is fair. I mean, Kanan is really tall.
Yes, he is.
And Rex is not exactly in the shape he was from the Clone Wars, but still adorable. Rex loves it. Kanan hates it.
Next up, this one, almost definitely an unintentional one here, but when the gravity has been turned off in the ship and Chopper's about to turn it back on, and Ezra just looks at him and says, "Don't you dare!" It just absolutely reminded me, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Aunt Marge blowing up like a balloon and flying away, and she does that, "Don't you dare," to Vernon before he lets go.
That is fantastic. We love a Harry Potter callback.
Always.
Star Wars. Oh, Chop.
Oh, yes. And Chop is absolutely loving every second of it.
Yes. He did make sure that Ezra was kind of close to a platform that he could fall on. Oh, Chop.
Next up, we talked about Hera's kind of memories of Ryloth. If you are interested in how Ryloth fared during the Clone Wars, check out Clone Wars Season 1, Episodes 19 through 21, heavily featuring Hera's father, Cham Syndulla.
Talk about a tough hang arc. Mace Windu, and Cham Syndulla. It's a great arc, you guys, but watching it for me is really difficult. Like, can't we just go back to Numa, the little girl?
Yeah.
Twi'lek with her clone brothers. Like, yes, this is fantastic. Watch it for Numa and the clone brothers, not for Cham and Mace Windu.
And then lastly, we have another appearance by the Imperial torture droid, the one that will eventually torture Leia on the Death Star. Showed up a couple of times so far, and these things are just so menacing. They're just balls of pain.
Yeah, basically. Like, they're there to destroy every part of you, which is so sad. We do get the Disney freaking Star Tours droid also that gets blown up. Our poor buddy. We love you, friend. You did your job. You did your best. You were tricked. I mean, what are we gonna do? All right, everybody. It's time for our fifth holocron, the newbie from Naboo. This is Flo's first time watching Rebels, so we've tasked her with watching the episodes and giving us her questions and her takes. Let's find out what the ambassador for Naboo thought about today's episodes.
Yay, 3 episodes. Okay, and this week, I did not put my notes in the doc, so everything is coming from my notebook. Look at these. I mean, that's nice, right?
Look at all your little like arrows
you are such a teacher.
Ah, I know, I love it.
Teacher/Ravenclaw right there.
So Anders and Colleen are going to be surprised because they haven't been able to see my takes at all. Okay.
I love surprises.
So, okay, well, we'll see how much you like surprises. Let's find out, shall we? Okie dokie. Episode 7 started off super duper strong. Like, I don't know that we've seen that many defeats, or at least I haven't. And so that was like kind of intense. I like felt super bad for Hera. So that wasn't good. And then I was pissed at Kanan, who just like volunteered her. He's like, yeah, no, she can go. After like the person was like, well, you know, that's like a one-way trip. And he's like, yeah, send Hera. It's like, what? That was wild.
I like that moment though. I love that moment because well, he believes in her, and it's almost always Hera telling him like the hard truth. No, this is what you have to do. And it was nice to have her on the receiving end of that for a change.
fair, but also if like the dude that I liked was like, yeah, you're fine, just like go die on this planet, I'd be like, maybe not. Cool.
After you pressured him to join a guerrilla war?
Well, whatever. I'm just saying, do you love me or do you not love me? Like, it's a pretty easy question. I will say though, Kanan had the best line of this entire episode when Ezra was like, "I'm co-pilot." He's like, "You're co-irritating me." It's like, that's amazing. Using
such
that
a
with
good
my
dad
students.
and a good son.
So good. You and your brother Chopper are co-irritating me. Okay, so that was great. Then we get to Quarrie. Mustache Fishman is what I'll be referring to him as.
He's a real dried up old Mon Calamari.
Oh yeah.
He is fabulous. I love him. He's super gruff, all about him. Really glad they brought him like with them at the end of the episode. That was great. Okay, so then I have like a existential question that has been weighing on my mind, but is Kallus getting hotter? This is like a problem.
The eternal question is Kallus getting hotter?
I was just like, wait, like the beard isn't bothering me anymore, and like I don't know. Like,
have you been looking at all the memes where people are trying to cast Wyatt Russell as him after a Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Although, like, I don't think that he's that hot.
I think he looks a lot like Kurt Russell at certain points, and that's when I'm like, ooh, there we go. I think it would depend on the character he played. Maybe he'd come across as more good looking.
I'm trying to think of like who I would cast as Kallus. I don't know, somebody hot.
Before the whole Army Hammer being a jerk thing blew up, I would have suggested him.
Who?
Army Hammer.
Oh, honestly, like maybe Seb Stan would be good. Let's just do it.
That could actually be a good one. That could be a good one.
That could work. Just dye his hair blonde, throw some facial hair on him. We're good to go.
I'm just saying.
Like, or actually, Chris Evans could probably do it.
Chris Evans can do anything.
Yeah, he could definitely play Kallus.
Chris Evans should just play every part ever made.
I'd love to see him play a villain.
So anyways, he's getting hotter, and so like I have just like an issue with seeing him on screen now because I'm like, hey, like, yeah, destroy me, Empire Daddy. It's just like
that is completely fair. He is very attractive.
So anyways, I'm struggling with that right now. That's been a problem.
The struggle is very real, but that's fine.
Yeah. So then moving on from that, because it's getting a little hot in here.
A little spicy.
Oh, good God.
The ship that Hera ends up getting, I don't even remember what it's called. What's it called?
It's the B-Wing.
B-Wing. Okay, that's what I thought. Is insanely sick.
Yeah.
Like, I would definitely vomit if I was in it because she keeps like spinning it like a crazy person, but like it is sweet looking. So that was really awesome. I'm not like much of a ship girl, but like it was really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just my note here just says Kanan is a tough hang this episode. Like Kanan just pissed me off. I was just mad. He was just being a dick. Okay, I do have a question. Where is Ahsoka at this point?
Doing Ahsoka stuff. She's Fulcrum, so she's talking to a lot of other different cells.
Okay. So she's just like she's not with us. She just because I feel like last we left her, she was like hugging Rex and then she was just gone.
Yeah, she's doing stuff with the wider rebellion. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then my last note on here just says Hera is Phoenix leader. That's awesome. Super excited for her. Good job. Yes. Way to get promoted, girl. Which like, okay, thank you, Kanan, for like talking to whoever to get her promoted. But like, she doesn't need you, first of all. No. And second of all, like you just sent her to certain death. Get the fuck out of here.
He believes in her really hardcore. He's like, nothing can kill Hera when she's in a plane. Like,
what if she had died?
Oh, he would have felt awful.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, check yourself before you wreck yourself, Kanan. Anyways. All right, episode 8, big Sabine episode.
Mm-hmm.
Was awesome. First of all, she's just like amazing and she looks great.
Yes.
Like, why does she look so good? Like, I pointed at her butt and I was just like, look at her. She's like amazing. Like, anyways.
She's a Mando. They all look good.
Oh, damn. Okay, so in this episode, we find out that Sabine was a bounty hunter, which I guess I didn't know. At least I didn't know. We didn't know, right?
No, we didn't know that
Okay,
up until
cool.
this point.
Just making sure that I didn't miss something. And then her friend, ex-friend, sister, ex-sister, now friend, semi-friend, Ketsu is part of
Ketsu.
Black Sun, which I figure is like a crime syndicate, right?
Yes.
One of the big three.
Like Crimson Dawn. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
They're not
Again,
great.
give me the Kira content. I need the Kira series. Best moment of this episode was seeing the Star Tours droid. That was amazing. I was just like, holy shit, it's the Star Tours droid. Shout out to my Star Tours heads from Disney. Although I know Sarah's not here with us today, but I do want to say justice for the Star Tours droid who
sacrificed his
evilly
life.
got exploded into just utter particles.
And basically tricked into doing it.
Yeah.
Horrible. Like that was
sucked.
so bad. They shut him down and then they're just like, oh my God, time to explode your ship.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, that was a tough look. I mean, good job saving the Gaunt droid, but bad look for Star Tours.
Yeah,
droid.
I mean, really, really tough. I'm gonna pour one out for the Star Tours droid. That guy deserved better for sure. Okay, I do have a note here for Sabine. When she gets out, and then she's like, no, Ezra's fine. It's like, you can show like a little concern. Like you straight up just stranded him and he was like surrounded by stormtroopers. So maybe he's not fine. I don't know. But
Sabine and Kanan, just like two peas in a pod. This
yeah, they're like, he raised her a little bit too close to who he is. Yeah, not good. Also, I do want to say when Chopper just got yeeted out of the ship, I was like, finally, Chopper gets yeeted. I literally wrote that. Okay, next, look, I have more, like tons of notes. I'm telling you, guys, I was on fire.
I love it.
This was probably my favorite Chopper episode. He was so cute when he was like waving on top of Ketsu's ship. He reminded me of Wall-E, and it was so cute.
Yes.
And then when he gets like pulled in and he covers his eyes with his little claws, oh my God, he was so cute. So it's all about it.
I love Chop.
We see R2-D2, which is great in this one. And then just a quick note, Sabine says Organa really weird. She says it like Organa, and I'm just like, where are you from? Like, it's
Mandalore.
Like I know, but why is she saying it like that? I don't know. It made me feel weird. And that was the end of that one. I liked this episode, but it wasn't my favorite. Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is like the annoying bit. They were like, Sabine, when she, at the end, when she was like, oh, like, I hope I see her again. And it's like, yeah, obviously, you're going to see her again. Again, they brought back Pigman. Like, they're going to bring back Ketsu. Like, let's not be ridiculous here. Sabine, come on. Okay, last episode. This was probably my favorite one of this, like, 3 bunch. Super scary start. Like, first of all, I don't like Ezra being away from his parents, Kanan and Hera. So that was really scary.
Very stern principal in this.
Yes, he was like on the worst field trip ever, and then like the bus got hijacked. So that's very bad. Not good to know that the Empire can pull ships out of hyperspace. That was not the business. But I have to say, like, this Admiral guy is probably the smartest Imperial that I've seen yet.
Titus.
Like, he seemed more with it. I was like, all right, it seems like you know who Jabba is, and you know this is Ezra, so that's cool. And like, you captured them, like, good on you, buddy. And
Still didn't listen to Kallus though, when Kallus is like, put extra guards on him.
Yeah, you should really.
He's like, he's a child. This should be fine.
I'm just saying, I would listen to you, Kallus. Okay. Anyways. I'm gonna need stickers made of Sabine's cartoon of Rex and Kanan that she like graffitied on the ship. That was so cute. That was adorable. So
Rex was all about it.
Yeah. Just so cute. It was adorable. I love that this episode like combines Rex's talents and Kanan's Jedi mind trick talents. That was really great. Great winning combo. Remind me of like a previous episode where we saw like Ezra and Kanan working together, kind of using their own talents. And so it's nice to see like the team gelling. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking Ezra leveled up in this one. Like, what was happening when he like force activated his lightsaber?
Yes.
From like the stormtrooper's holster? That was insane. I was just like, get yours, Ezra. Oh my god.
He's not gonna hurt any of you.
Which was so sweet, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, I really like him a lot.
I love that.
Okay, again, Kanan with my favorite line of this episode. Kanan does have the zingers. I'm gonna give him that, even though like he can be a dick. When he's talking about Ezra to Rex, and he goes, he takes after Hera sometimes. Just like, that is so cute. That is the cutest thing ever. Like, such a good adopted dad.
Yeah, but they're not a couple. Whatever.
Yeah.
There were so many people who are like, they're not together in the first seasons. I'm like,
wait, what? Who says that?
Oh, a lot
they
of
refer
really
to themselves
people.
as mom and dad.
Wait,
right?
Yeah, seriously. Wait, I'm sorry, listeners. If you don't think that Hera and Kanan are a couple in the first season, please send us an email at bohemiangeekstudies@gmail.com because we have words for you. That's insane.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's insane. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. Okay, I don't know who you are, but you need to rewatch. Apparently, take some notes. I'm gonna skip this point because I go back to it later. I loved Rex blaming the helmet for why Stormtrooper's aim is off. That was so cute, and also
Can't
like
see a
just
thing in this
good,
helmet.
good explanation. Love it. I loved it when Kanan was like pulling the Stormtroopers and Rex was just shooting them. I mean, I do not condone shooting people, but it was pretty cool. When Rex got captured, okay, I've got a thing about like syringes, and I get like really freaked out about like syringes being involved in torture. So when I saw that droid holding a syringe, I was freaked out for Rex. Like, that's my nightmare. So I was not into that. I don't know that we've seen anything like that before.
It's like one of the torture droids.
Yeah.
That's
like one
disgusting.
of the ITO droids.
That's one of the ones that will eventually torture Leia on the Death Star.
Gross. Okay,
Yeah.
but like, what is in the syringe?
Probably some sort of truth serum, or it's like something that probably burns your body up from the inside
Ew.
out. Oh yeah, the Empire's not great.
I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
But luckily, then right after that, Kanan goes, "I've got to get my friend," and that was adorable. So that was so cute. Okay, but we have to talk about this. Chopper is a mass murderer.
Yes.
Like,
yes, very much
is.
so.
I mean, there's no escaping it anymore. Like, first he murdered a bunch of people by reinstating gravity, right? And he was just like, "Yep, drop, mofo." And then he like explodes a ship, like with a lot of people on it. Like
3 ships, right? Because the 2 cruisers go into the Interdictor.
So, like, how many people do we think he murdered this episode?
Thousands upon thousands of people.
Like, that's
dead.
insane.
It might not actually be thousands upon thousands. I wouldn't be surprised
if they were on skeleton
if
crews,
those
or they
were on
got
skeleton
away.
crews because they were that secret project.
That's true.
I'm
And
just
escape
saying.
pods are a thing. I mean, you
still
can't get
hundreds,
away.
but maybe not thousands.
Nobody made it to an escape pod, Colleen.
Except Titus.
Yeah.
All right. Is that the Admiral guy?
Yeah, he got away.
The one who you said was smart.
Kallus yelled at him at the end. I mean, he was very smart. There's a reason he's the Admiral of the Interdictor, but he underestimated the child, which is fair.
I mean, who wouldn't, right? Like, who doesn't in real life?
And he thought Rex was just some beat up old clone. He's like, no one's gonna come for you. Oh shit, there's a Jedi.
So I'm like trying to decide if I liked these episodes. I like definitely liked them as I was watching them, for sure. Like, I was really, really entertained. I thought they were really funny and like really exciting. I'm trying to decide like, what is this show? So I feel like maybe season 1 was more like cohesive right now. Like, it was pretty clear, like, get Ezra, train Ezra. Like, that seemed like the overarching mission. Now, like, obviously the mission is fight the Empire and like get some sort of like rebel alliance going. it does feel like a little bit discombobulated,
Mhm.
but I really like the individual episodes.
Yes. This
And
is
like
the
they all
character
do
building
serve the
season,
bigger
for
purpose.
sure. Yes, yes, they do. And it does feel a little early season Clone Wars with the fact that they don't seem connected, and then later you'll be like, oh, all right. But yeah, this is all character building for pretty much most of the season, although there are some fantastic arcs coming up that are really great.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
But they really wanted to get like you to like these characters more and know their backstory. So then when things happen later, you really care about them.
Great. So I can just be destroyed. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I mean,
Yay!
we definitely got some like Hera backstory in
Mhm.
episode 7, and then we got some Sabine backstory in episode 8.
Mhm.
Episode 9 was probably just like gelling Rex and Kanan more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they were really good. I really liked them, enjoyed them, was not on my phone. Obviously, you can tell I took notes.
Your
Like,
notes are extensive. I like
thank
it.
you. The proof is really in the pudding here. So yeah, so really, really liked it. Good stuff. Can't wait for the next ones. And
I
yeah.
can't wait for the next ones too.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, on that note, let's move it into our 6 holocron conjecture at the cantina. This is
Mhm.
where we get to kind of ask our questions about the episode and explore some wider Star Wars lore together. So, Colleen, you want to take it away?
Heck yes. Okay, so first off, we start out with what did Dave Filoni and crew have to say about these episodes? You guys, Hera's voice actor Vanessa Marshall knows what it's like to be up in the sky, just like Hera. Her father owns an open cockpit biplane.
No, thank you. Absolutely.
Oh my
not.
God, that's insane. And she's like, we used to go like barnstorming and it was great. I'm like, oh my God, that's dangerous, but good, get it, girl. So she knows what it's like to be up in the sky flying. The creators really wanted to focus on Hera's love of flight for that episode. And it wasn't about just being a fighter pilot, although she's really good at that. It's about her yearning to be free from the Clone Wars conflict and also to help people. Like that's her whole thing, is like she's doing this so that she can help people. She loves flying, but this is her talent that she can use to better the galaxy, which I love. I love Hera so much.
Yeah, that was really great. I loved hearing about that. And I just love how everybody in like the crew has this mission to help people, but they all bring like such individual talents to that mission. That's really cool.
That's why I love our Spectre family. They're all so different, but they have the one goal of just like, we've given everything away just so that we can help people in the galaxy who can't help themselves. Like, I'm such a sucker for a show like this.
Yeah.
I was like the core demographic they were going for with this show.
I love it.
Another voice actor, D. Bradley Baker, who we adore and we shall see on Tuesday in quite a few roles for that batch. He was talking about Rex and Kanan. He said that Rex is so used to rolling with the punches because of Anakin that it's really easy for him to work with Kanan. He's like, this is actually probably easier because Anakin was surprising and his plans were like very harebrained. So Rex is just used to it. He's like, this is great, which was a nice callback to the Clone Wars show. I miss Rex and Anakin's dynamic so much. And then Rex is just feeling so much nostalgia here. He's like, I'm with the Jedi again, you guys. He doesn't like me, but I'm going to try my best. Like all the looks that he just gave Kanan, the kind of smiles and the knowing looks when Kanan would get annoyed, he was like, this is fantastic. I love it.
This was really cute.
And then my question, because these are very young people, y'all, just how old were Ketsu and Sabine when they became bounty hunters?
Yeah.
This is like some young Boba Fett style bounty hunting from the Clone Wars where he was even younger than they are when he became a bounty hunter, but Sabine is 17 now.
Yeah.
So when did she break out of the academy with Ketsu? How long were they bounty hunters in their teens? Wow. What do you guys think?
I think at this point, so Sabine, she's 17. She's been with the Ghost crew probably for like 2 or 3 years now.
That would be my
Definitely
guess.
1 year. That would be season 1. So probably a year or 2 before that. Brings us back to like 14.
Yep.
And if they actually were able to be bounty hunters, probably for like 2 years or so before that. So we're bringing it back to like age 12, which would mean that she left the Imperial Academy when she was like 12.
Wild.
Gonna come back to that in a later season.
Yes, we will. It's It's like, oh my god, unless they were only bounty hunters for like a couple months together. Like maybe they broke
maybe
out,
they sucked at it.
became bounty hunters, and then like on one of their maybe their third mission or something, Ketsu left Sabine, and then she got picked up by the Spectres. Like, it's hard to say. They're so young. I think Ketsu's older than Sabine, but not by much. Like they're close to the same age.
Yeah.
I want more Ketsu.
What do you think, Flo?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking a similar timeline. I just like, obviously I don't have a lot of Sabine backstory. So like, I don't know what happened before that. Obviously from the eyebrow wags, I feel like I'm going to get it. But yeah, I mean, I would say like 11 or 12 starting bounty hunting is pretty intense. It's like pretty dangerous shit, but I guess like maybe like you're littler and people like underestimate you. And so you can like get into places where you usually can get into.
How old's Arya Stark when she becomes a faceless man?
Yeah,
like 10 or something, right? Isn't she like 9 in the first book?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so I think she's probably 12-ish.
Yeah,
depending on how
that was some intense stuff.
Like, good job, Arya/Sabine.
Yeah.
But this kind of leads into my first question. So we've heard Sabine say that she left the Imperial Academy because they didn't like her asking questions. Do we think that that's the same reason that Ketsu left?
I think Ketsu doesn't like to be told what to do.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was just like, nobody's telling her shit.
No. And then
except for maybe Kallus. That's my new ship. I'm a Ketsu Kallus stan.
So Ketsu's
I ship Kallus with somebody else, but that'll come at a later date. Then we're gonna have talks.
All right.
I like the idea that Ketsu was just like, fuck this. And Sabine like actually wanted to leave for a very good, important reason. And Ketsu's like, all right, let's just go.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm bored and I don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning for muster. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. That's how I'm picturing it too. Just like, or somebody gave her like one order too many and she's like, no, bye.
All right. My next question, just trying to think about, we have the Clone Wars end. Rex has been for however long on that planet with Wolf and Gregor. Where does he know Quarrie from? Do we think?
Clone Wars would be my guess.
Because
like
this is
somewhere in the Clone Wars.
This is, I believe, this is Quarrie's first ever canon appearance. So I'm curious, like, was he building ships for the Republic somehow, or?
I think he's just an innovator from Mon Cala. Like maybe they met during the Mon Cala princely char arc in the Clone Wars.
That could be.
Maybe if he was still on Mon Cala at that point. I think he was, just because he mentions that the Empire won't find him on the ship destroying planet, or they wouldn't think that he would go there because he's a shipbuilder. It's not a great place for ships. So it's dry AF. So what's a Mon Calamari doing on this planet?
Yeah.
But I think maybe from there.
My hypothesis is that they are both like part of some like mustache aficionado fan club. And they like go to reunions somewhere. Like there's like a con, like a mustache con. And that's where they met. They were roommates at the Mustache Con Hotel.
I love it because Pelion would be there too. Throw an Imperial in there, you guys. So like everyone appreciates a mustache.
Absolutely.
All right. And then my last question, we've talked about them both. What do you think what sort of punishment is awaiting Admiral Titus when Kallus actually gets his hands on him? Like, does Kallus even let him board the shuttle, or does he just blow up that escape pod at the end of the episode when he comes across all this destruction?
I mean, he needs to get a debrief, so maybe not right away.
I mean, I like to think about some light tortures.
Just some ropes stuff, nothing too intense.
Just like light bondage, no syringes. Syringe is a hard limit. So
I don't think they'd have to syringe Titus. I think he's going to spill the beans real fast so that he doesn't die.
Yeah, you're probably right. But anyways, yeah. Somebody give us some fan art, please.
Oh, there is a lot of Kallus fan art, but do not go look, Flo.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
Don't
Colleen.
look
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. There's a reason. There's a very good reason from my ship, so don't go look yet.
You can't tell me to not do something. Now I really want to do it. Okay, no promises, but I'll pretend like I'm surprised.
Well, I'll let you know when it's safe to go and look.
How about you just send me some safe ones? Or how about you like
Ooh.
blur out what things I can't see?
Yes, I'll send you some safe ones.
Okay.
And on that amazing note, guys, I think that's where we leave it for today. So come back and join us again next week as Ahsoka shows off just how much she's learned since the Clone Wars in Rebels Season 2, Episodes 10, 11, and 12. Until then, follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave us those 5-star reviews. Check out our website at bohemiangeekstudies.com, where you can watch all of our episodes, enjoy Colleen's Book Corner, where she's reviewing Star Wars literature, and contact us through email and social media. And as always, keep telling other Nerdy Knights to join in with us. It really does help. You can also head to ForgottenEntertainment.com to check out all the offerings from the Forgotten Entertainment family, including yet another Star Wars podcast, where Colleen, myself, and our co-host Daniel, along with some special guests, are examining the films in the Star Wars canon. So until next time, be wings up and keep those episodes streaming. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Again, if I'm in a B-wing, I'm hurling. So that's not a good choice.